This is a wonderful collection of over 90 objects and photographs that the museum has recently acquired from the Senjov-Makohon family, a Ukrainian family that came to Australia in the 1950s.
Привіт, мене звуть Natalie Senjov-Makohon. Hello, my name is Natalie Senjov-Makohon. One thing that I often used to think about was, why was my mother so adamant about teaching me to sew and embroider and all the things that we actually ended up doing together? And I think it was, to her, that was a skill that a girl needed to know. But when you actually sat down to do the embroidery, you'd often hear stories about the family, stories about them arriving in Australia. My parents came to Australia in the second wave of Ukrainians after the Second World War, and they came by Italy. They left Trieste by boat and they arrived in Australia early 1954 in January, in the heat of summer. But what was interesting, my mother still maintained cultural heritage at home.
The pride and love that Ukrainians feel for their cultural heritage is richly demonstrated in this collection. There's beautiful embroidery work, intricate timber inlay, a musical instrument known as a bandura, and faith-based cultural practices.
With all these different customs, the one that really stands out is Easter. We painted Easter eggs and they were called pesanke, from the word to write. But what was really important as far as cultural heritage was concerned was that you had to actually have a basket. That basket was only used for Easter. You never used that basket for anything else. You would also have a cloth that had to be embroidered, and my mother had her own cloth, of course, and when I got married, I embroidered my own cloth. Easter Sunday, after breakfast, they would go to church, and at church there would be games, dances, and in particular hayilke, where all the children were dressed in embroidered shirts, blouses, and they would dance, and they were taught to sing in Ukrainian and dance some Ukrainian dances. My mother embroidered a shirt for my brother, and that was passed on to my children and to my grandchild. So that shirt stayed within the family for 3 generations.
So while this is a collection that relates to one particular family, it also represents a complex cross-section of the Ukrainian community, both in Melbourne and back in Ukraine. But at the heart of all of this, and where this story all started, was with Natalie's mother, Katerina, who was the one that really was so passionate about keeping Ukrainian cultural heritage alive. And now this collection has come full circle and ended up at the museum, where we can now become the caretakers of this precious collection and keep that legacy alive.
Mum had passed away and we had all these really great pieces, and we were thinking, we really want to show others the importance of maintaining a culture, but at the same time to be thankful for what you've got. And we thought, well, we'll see if the museum can actually give these objects a home so that people will be able to enjoy them and to know that they have been part of Australia.